Okay, there we go. What's going on, everyone? Goddrifter here, and welcome back to another DSP Heat livestream. This is livestream number 28, and the first thing literally is you look at this beautiful classic of Chevy. I'm doing Chevrolet today. So, for those that are wondering, there are 8 Chevrolets basically. Um, for those that are wondering what those are, it is. Um, So, for a bit of context, um, the founder of Chevrolet, Louis Chevrolet, was born around the 1800s and passed away around the 1900s, specifically around the uh, basically around the 1950s. But many people didn't realize is the fact that of all the vehicles that came out, a lot of these cars were named after certain cities, others based off of certain animals. But without without out of the way, I'm going, and just like before, I'm going to do oldest first, and I'm going to do the newest last. Um, this time I'm going to be doing 2 races each. So figuratively, literally, that's basically what I'm going to do. And also the first race practice should not count. So yeah, it's basically one practice race, and then it is basically me getting started on what to do first. So for those wondering about the vehicles themselves, I'm actually going to talk about them in depth. Um, so basically,
So when are you gonna get your own place?
Don't listen to him.
I hate when I get interrupted. Anyways, so basically, long story short, um, first vehicle is gonna be the Bel Air, since that one's probably the oldest of any Chevrolet model. Period. Second vehicle would have been the Chevrolet C10 stepside pickup, and yes, it does look different from last time. Last time it was black with red and chrome, but now it's full on two-tone with a blue stripe just separating them all. Up next is my '67 Camaro. Then a couple years later, it will be the 2006 Corvette Z06, and then a Camaro again. Then the Colorado, then the Corvette Grand Sport, and last certainly not least, the Corvette Zero One. So, yeah, we have a lot of work to do here. And also, was wondering, yes, the Corvette Zero One is the performance variant of the Grand Sport, but that doesn't change the fact that the vehicles themselves are going to be driven either way. So, yeah, obviously, I'm going to be doing a practice race um, around that time. And since there are no activity in the chat, I'm actually going to um, turn the chat box off. Alright. So, without any further ado, let's get started. And it sounds good. No, I don't. Oh my god, I'm going to turn the car off. Does it not have a supercharger? Okay, it does, but I probably need to re-equip it. No, that's the dual turbochargers. Just trying to go for the root supercharger. Alright, so obviously I'm going to do this race with yeah, basically this is actually gonna be the practice race, then it's gonna be just me doing some silly things for the most part. Okay, there you go. Sorry, sorry. Alright. Oh yeah, that was probably unfair, but then again, it was a practice race, so I can't say that about that. Okay, so for those wondering what's the deal with the Bel Air. The Bel Air came around in 19, well, basically around the early 50s. Specifically, around 1951, the Bel Air was selling like hotcakes. It was basically the competitor to the Ford Fairlane, which is well, basically it was basically a long story short, it was a car that competed against two other vehicles, specifically Ford Fairlane and the Dodge Polara, and the Bel Air actually happens to sell a little bit more. And I already know people gonna say, but the Bel Air didn't, but the Bel Air has a V8, right?
Later. So
No.
shut now
In
if you want
fact,
something.
the reason why the car sounds like this is because the car came with, I'm not kidding when I say this, a 3.9 liter inline six. So, but was also wondering, it also came with a 250 cubic inch V8 that made around 250 horsepower. Yeah, keep in mind around that time, a lot of cars around those years were only making around at least 100. But the thing about this car is the fact that it is what most people would call it was not a homage to a vehicle per se, but so nonetheless, it actually isn't that bad. Actually, I was about to sell the engine anyway. So I tried to hear the supercharger, but unfortunately, it's not working. I don't know what it is. For some reason, it's just like it's just not working. So also drink of the day. Um, Pure Leaf unsweetened green tea. Actually, it's pretty good. Um, all right. So more than likely, a lot of people may have known this car as some of the cars as the vehicle that appeared in one movie known as Grease, another movie known as American Graffiti, and I think this car was also part of the lowrider scene. Well, it just depends on who you ask. Okay, apparently this Okay, the car sounds very weird with the centrifugal supercharger. Let's try the screw supercharger. Okay. Well, I guess turbocharger it is, because I don't know why, but for some reason the supercharger just sounds off. Alright, so obviously I'm going to be doing... Yeah, I've been do each race, both one a day and the other one at night, so that way each car can actually, I can actually get a chance to talk about. So for those wondering what is the popular years for the Chevrolet Bel Air, basically any 50s variant, as well as the mid 60s, because I do believe it got discontinued around the 1970s or 1980s. Depends on you ask. But yeah, nonetheless, it actually is pretty interesting to say the least. The car itself it handles really well, even though it's a 1950s boat basically. But if it wasn't for the Bel Air, the Impala wouldn't exist. Yeah. For those who are wondering, the most popular years around, oh yeah, basically, and if we're talking like top 3 most popular years for the Bel Air, it is the 1955, the 1957, and the 1958 Chevrolet Bel Air Impala. And you might recognize the Bel Air Impala because it was part of one of the cars from American Graffiti by George Lucas. Sorry, Beamer. Oh my god, this thing is fast. What in the world? Sorry about that. That's something in the news. Alright. And the reason why those 3 actually was iconic because a lot of games, especially games like Need for Speed Heat and Midnight Club, tend to use the mid to late 50s variant of the this pretty much classic of a Bel Air. And then again, it actually depends on how you actually restore this vehicle, because some people full on resto mod the vehicle, others restore it to its basically basically every detail on the car they restored is usually either original or is an aftermarket type thing. But most we have to realize is that they don't make parts for these cars anymore. Alright. Well, yeah, this is basically one of those vehicles that it always gets overlooked when, and also, let me just say this car is also good at drag racing for some reason. I don't know what it is, but one way or another, this car is apparently good with drag racing. Going to just get over that way and okay, there we go. Alright, so yeah, this actually is going to be one of those races where I am going to full on struggle because I am driving around a 1950s Bel Air with still the stock motor, but it's fully upgraded. Oh my god. Oh god dang! Oh Jesus! Okay. Okay. What in the world is happening? Oh, and also, for those that are wondering, only one of the cars, actually, one of the vehicles actually has an engine swap. And the reason why I didn't bother using the Grand Sports motor on the Bel Air is because it just doesn't feel right. And not to mention, although yes, the car actually is an antique and all, but there is such a thing as there is no replacement but for displacement. In fact, the LX6 is actually a little bit quick if you actually you know, fully max out the motor, but it still will be around 400 plus. It'll be still around 366. But yeah, many people didn't realize that a classic Bel Air could actually, well, if you can actually get a good deal on it, or if you find it in some sort of junkyard and restore the absolute mass out of it, I'm pretty sure you can actually make a ton of money while actually having the car be restored to its or in its prime. So yeah. That's the whole ordeal. And I just crashed into everything. And uh-oh. But yeah, my God, it actually is pretty insane on how fast this car is. Oh my God. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Hey, my car is not even low. Oh my God. Oh, look at this. Oh, God. Oh, no. Alright, we're good. Oh, my God. I am actually surprised that no cop has seen me yet. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, what the? Oh my God. Okay. Okay, tow truck. I see what you're trying to do. Finally, the cop sees me.
Control. Suspect has violated multiple traffic laws. I'm on him.
Got a driver out there that needs taken down. I want everyone to join in.
Of course, one of the racers. No. Like so far, I mean, so far I keep going on, keep hitting oncoming traffic of infinities. My goodness. Alright. Also, I actually apologize for being like, oh yeah, let me just stream Destiny 2, but Destiny 2 decides to be not working first try, so I gotta do something, and I just found out that actually had Godfall, but that actually didn't work out as well. Because I had to stream only Super watched it. Ouch. Oh my god, okay.
Hey, there's the numbskull again. Control, I found him! I found him!
They're drawn to the attention you've given them. Come on, move it, everyone. I want them caught this time.
And that's done and dusted. Done on to the next vehicle.
Gotta do better than this.
Damn it! There goes our shot at arresting this asshole.
My goodness. How desperate you had to be in order to actually, you know, get promoted. We're not trying to have an Alex, not Alex. We're not trying to get a Frank Mercer 2.0 or 3.0 basically. My poor Bel Air. Alright, up next it is the 1965 C10 step-side pickup.
All
And
this time, you never bring us back donuts or pizza or nothing.
please stop interrupting me, Lucas. Anyways, long story short, this truck actually has some history. In fact, it is the reason why the Silverado still exists to this day, as well as the Sierra. And I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. So basically, the C10 slash K10 are two different model of trucks. One of which is the smaller variant of the Silverado, and the other one being, well, the K10 being known as the Silverado. You know you can change about daytime cops? And yes, this actually is the only time that I have a resto modded truck. Because apparently this truck, no matter what you do to it, actually looks good. And I can hear the units. Why does anyone mess with the pipe resistance? That is a very good question, because for some, I don't know what it is. For some reason, every time I join in a lobby, And the moment I hear every time I hear a type noise, I'm like, someone messed with the pipe resonance. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the C10s back then were only railroad drive, but that's because all drive wasn't a thing until around the 1980s. And this also gives a 4x4 version of, well, said truck. And the C10s usually didn't last until around the 1990s when they actually introduced the S10 to replace the C10. And the K10 was rebranded as basically a Silverado. And around that time, there was also a thing called the Blazer. And for those that are wondering, no, I'm not talking about the crossover that looks like a Camaro in the front end. No, we're talking the legit Blazer, like the ones that are the ones that are supposed to be the competition to the Bronco. Yeah, the classic Bronco, not the Bronco and the Bronco Sport. No, we're talking about old classics. Things such as the Blazer, the Suburban. Actually, in fact, GMCs were known as Suburbans as well, but they changed it to Yukons around that time. So, and I was wondering, okay, what engine does it have? Because there's no way that a truck like this could actually haul that much mass with a giant body like that. Well, it depends on which grain you're talking about, because, if I remember correctly, this is the one that shared the 250 cubic inch motor with the previous Bel Air. So basically, the only way to tell which engine it is basically for Chevrolets. Yeah, all I do is look at the numbers that are branded on the side of the front panels. Basically, if it's a 250, it's a 250 cubic inch V8. If it's a 350, it's a 350 cubic inch V8. A 427, well, 427, also a 427 cubic inch V8. And the biggest of them all, the behemoth of Chevrolet motors, the 454 motor, which, well, it's a 454 cubic inch V8. And that stuff is usually on trucks and full-on big muscle cars. And also around that time, General Motors were making bank that day. And, well, long story short, it's sort of a thing where it actually kind of has that same feeling on what kind of vehicle it is. It just depends on how you do things about it, or how you go about things with it. So, yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Alright. No. I'm not trying to join in. Trying to... Speaking of which, what? Okay, I guess it's a root supercharger. Yep, it is indeed a root supercharger. It's only a 0.2. Jeez. Okay. Here's some grease. Hey! Welcome to the live stream. For those that are new to my channel, as well as just joining in on the first live stream, hello, I'm known as Goddrifter247sun Productions. I do games like Need for Speed Heat, car drift racing, The Crew 2. I'm temporarily taking a break from GTA, and I am also stream some Let's Plays. So yeah, it's more than likely it's gonna be one of those. How much money do I have? I am currently, well, I would say I'm broke, but 158 grand, 158 grand. And keep in mind, the reason why I haven't spent all that much is because, well, trying to find more bills to go with. Being chased by a car, what the heck? Oh, I forgot there's no ramp here. I'm being bullied by another C10, what the heck? I'm sorry, is this... I'm sorry, is this neighborhood full of... Like, is this neighborhood full of water? Because... for some reason, I can't go one way, I can't go to another way. But in terms of why I actually decided to do Chevrolets, because of all the brands I actually wanted to do, Chevrolets are the things I mostly grew up with, and not to mention the majority of my family members actually own at least one form of Chevrolet. Some of them are like 2000s based, but what can I say? If it's not broken, so fix it. You know what it is. Oh my god, alright. What is it? Game slot? Oh, okay, sorry about that. Where is the settings? Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me now? Not trying to race, my god. Okay. Alright, so, I'm actually gonna go into nighttime because, well, that is actually the plan for today. Basically, it's me just doing one race in the day, one race at night. Oh, okay. Nice, yeah, homie. Oh, okay. How do I change my car? All I do is in terms of daytime, all you do is go out to a race. And I'm using the nighttime race for example. And then there's usually in the daytime there's usually options to change car, and you just press L1, and you're able to change your car that way. But keep in mind that if you have if one of your vehicles is if a lot of your vehicles like literally up in front, or basically the first in your list of cars, then they're gonna change to that. Or if it has, or let's see, for example, you have DLC vehicles, it's kind of like that. PS4, Xbox. I am on PS4. But yeah, still nonetheless, no problem. Anyways, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. For those who are wondering, if you responded with emojis, then Nightbot's gone triggered. So so a simple thank you without emojis will be fine. Don't worry about it. All right, so I'm not gonna do one of these because. I'm trying to get cops on me. What the heck? Okay. Oh, I haven't done this one in ages. Okay. Alright, the reason why I actually do like, the reason why I like Enterprise more than any other race, especially, Discovery or Spirit of Oz, is because of a simple thing known as this race literally has a shortcut. This is, I am not joking when I say this. This race, figuratively and literally, has a shortcut, and it's hilarious how many people didn't realize it until like they see someone just like turn a wrong turn, but only to realize like, wait, there's a checkpoint on the other side. It's like, yep. Yeah, for the most part, it actually is very interesting to say the least. How I don't know how many American vehicles that many players actually want in certain games. Like, I know the Crew 2 is notorious for having a whole lot of American-made vehicles, but they kind of tone it down a little bit because, like, out of the Camaros, Mustangs, Challengers, Chargers, Vipers, Corvettes, GTs, even they're like only like a handful of imports and basically it's not basically a little bit less of European vehicles than American cars, because basically because of the Crew 2, the American cars are up the wazoo with a whole lot of models, a whole lot of makes and models. When it comes to the European side of things, it's mostly the very popular cars from around that time, and when it comes to Japanese cars, they only got Nissan and Nissan, Mazda, and Subaru, and Kawasaki. But still, nonetheless, it's the Crew 2 is still a pretty good game. It's just, my God, because in the Crew 2 they kind of settle down with how many American vehicles they have to add, because obviously it's based on the U.S. Why the heck not? Oh no, I'm being chased by the feds. goodness. Oh my god. Also, like I said earlier, for those that aren't new to my channel, hello, I am known as Goddrifter247sun Productions. I mostly do racing game content, but I'm also a gaming channel as well. So, basically, if you don't see a racing game, you probably will see either a live stream or me trying something out for the most part, for said game. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty interesting to say the least. Okay, not gonna lie, that was freaking funny how it's like, okay, I just gotta drive around the corner and let the cops see me, only to be full on I guess only to be T-boned by a BMW M4 for some odd reason. Alright, someone actually did take over here. Shoot. Alrighty then. Honestly, I've wanted for $9 grand because of had to pay off the cop because for some odd reason it's gonna be one of those. Alright. So up next it is the 67 Camaro. Now here's the thing though. I have seen basically the 3rd generation Camaro all the way to the 6th. So I've seen 4 out of the 6 generations of Camaro. And well, no, actually, never mind. I actually did saw a 1st gen Camaro a long time ago. It was pretty cool to say the least. It was blue. That's one thing for sure. And I think if I remember correctly, it was a 1967 Camaro. And I was like, man, that looks really clean for what it is. And I was like, you know what? If I were to have the money to have my own muscle car, it'll probably be either this or the Firebird, specifically the 69 model. Hold on. Okay, 5.7. So yeah, this is the Chevrolet 350 motor. And I'm going to turn out the game a little bit. I can barely hear the engine, so it's a little unfortunate, but oh great. Well, allow me to much better. Alright. But yeah, so in terms of the Camaro's history, okay, for those that have watched Donna Media or any sort of informational type channel that you want to get your history for the vehicle, we all know the fact that this car was legit only made to compete against the Mustang. And compete, it actually did. And the reason why I say that it's supposed to compete against the Mustangs because of, well, 2 things. The Camaro, even though it was made around, even though the concept was like around 1966, 1967 is when it was first debuted. And it is probably one of those cars that you don't expect to be very good. In fact, these cars, you can do god dang F-150. No, don't worry. Don't worry, Ford will be next. Or McLaren. It just depends. Um, so yeah, long story short, it's possibly one of those cases where they got in. Well, Chevy was like, yeah, we need a vehicle to compete against the Mustang. Since they made an entirely new type of vehicle, the pony car. Yeah, let's make our own. So basically, with Ford, they got the Mustang. With Mercury, they got the Cougar. With Chevrolet, they got the Camaro. Pontiac, they got the Trans Am. With what else is there? With Dodge, they have. Well, actually, with Dodge is a little bit more confusing, and I do say this for a very good reason, and that is because we don't know which one is the pony car. Like, is it the Charger? Is it the Challenger? Like, well, which one is it? And with Plymouth, I say yeah. I think Plymouth's the only one it's the only one I know that I already know. Well, which one's the pony car, which one's the full-on muscle car, and with I think with the Dodge brand, I do believe it's the same thing. So basically, in terms of the muscle cars, with Dodge and Plymouth, it's literally the Roadrunner and Charger. But the pony cars, on the other hand, they got the Barracuda and Challenger, which is supposed to compete against, well, the Mustang and the Camaro, as well as the Mercury Cougar and Trans Am. Now, the only vehicle that I don't know if they actually made this, actually the only brand I don't know if they actually made a variant of this is Buick and Oldsmobile. Now, for those wondering, Buick and Oldsmobile are GM's. Well, one with Oldsmobile, it's their. I don't believe they're their luxurious brand because they already got Cadillac. Actually, in fact, I do remember correctly. With Pontiac, it's their. Yeah, with Pontiac, it's their. It's basically their cheaper variants of the vehicle that they have. With Chevrolet, it's right in the middle, and it's basically what actually has founded GM in the first place. Then we have. What's that called? And then we got Cadillac and Buick being their luxurious brand, and then, well, Buick being their second luxurious brand. Well, not second luxurious brand, basically their cheap luxurious brand. And then you got Oldsmobile, which I don't know, to be completely honest. Man, that's gonna eat at me all day. So, yeah, actually, I had no freaking clue. Okay. Alright. Now it's time to go in nighttime mode.
Alright, I'm done dealing with this crap. That was all too easy.
My God. Man, that was too easy. I keep paying out the cops. I'm trying to go into a race. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, for the event. Oh man, okay. So I'm guessing that player must have triggered the race already. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna do Prestige in solo. So, wasn't wondering, I'm actually, I'm probably gonna end it around at least 6:20. I see, yeah, at least 6:25, basically. Uh, so long story short, long story short, it's only gonna be like at least an hour and something minutes. I don't know, but hope you guys are enjoying the live stream so far. Oh god. So yeah, for those wondering, of all the generations I have not seen yet, I have yet to see a second generation Camaro. Like the only time I would see it is actually in video games and well, Google Images, because why not? Anyways, so oh yeah, Camaro. So basically the vehicle had let's see, yeah, long story short, the vehicle, let's see, yeah, the Camaro was around ever since the 60s and still going strong to this day, but is rumored to be discontinued around 2023, which not kidding when I say this, the name alone is 50 years old. Well, more than 50 years old, basically. So basically, the second generation, actually no, the first generation actually has a lot of changes, but I do believe the most iconic variant has to be the 1969 model. Before the end of its not end of its lifespan, but still the second generation. You probably have seen the second generation in a couple of movies before, such as well, you know, Transformers. Specifically, the first movie, when they actually decided to show off the 5th generation Camaro around that time. Not to mention, you probably would see it a lot of those as well. But you probably never realized it, that the second generation Camaro is similar to the second generation Trans Am, which is actually probably gonna be interesting. In terms of its facelifts, the only variant of the Camaro I know that's the most facelifts is probably the second generations, because it gone from flat, it went from flat to slightly sharper to very sharp, and sharp as it is, and then around the 1980s, third generation came out, and it has only one facelift, and that was like around the end of the 1980s. 1990, well, yeah, wait, yeah, early 1990s, specifically 1990 to 1993, it got a facelift, and yeah, it actually has a facelift of that. But then when it comes to the other facelift, it was actually only changed a little bit of things, but fourth generation was known to have the LS, so there's that. But then again, by the end but the end of the production actually didn't do that well until around that time. And there is basically also and then there's also the fact that figuratively, literally, the reason why it didn't sell so well is because of what kind of vehicle it was. In fact, a lot of people didn't like the catfish look, so yeah, there's that. Oh my god, okay. But yeah, it's not gonna lie, it actually looks really good. Um, don't tell me that thing is a Viper motor. um, but yeah. Speaking of, well, yeah. Then again, then again, the fifth gen actually ended up getting a facelift, which got a lot more aggressive, and then the sixth generation. Actually, of all the things, I do believe I like the fifth gen. The fifth gen facelifted, but I actually do like the pre-facelifted sixth gen Camaro because I'm not really the biggest fan of the sixth, wait, the the sixth generation facelift. It's just not for me. Um, Speaking of LSs, we got here the 1960, basically the 2013 Chevrolet, not Camaro, Chevrolet Corvette Z06, which I actually tried to make it into a not Zero One, but basically its own model. So I was wondering, what's the history behind the Corvette? Like, how it came to be? Well, the first ever Corvette came around the 1950s. Yeah, it has been 8 generations since the C1 actually came out. But the first one didn't. Well, yeah, the first variant did not do so well. It actually was underpowered. It only had a 300 cubic inch V8. Well, it's not even cubic. It's not even cubic. It's not even a V8. It was an inline 6. But then it's like, oh yeah, here's a. Oh yeah, you want a V8? Here's a V8. And it worked. It sold like hotcakes. Oh my god. Viper, you're in the way! My god. But what was I wondering, of all the 8 generations that came out throughout the years, which one's my favorite? I would say, well, long story short, I like the C2 because it's a classic, the C3 for its styling, yeah, C2, C3, C5, C6, although I like the C7, I only like its, I only like the Z06 and Z01 variants. C8, the C8 is growing on me. I don't know about you guys, but the C8, I am not when I say this, is literally growing on me. So, yeah, basically it. That's basically what my thoughts about the C8 Corvette. Although it's funny how many people were like, man, it's not supposed to be mid-engine rear drive. The designer for the Corvette was designing that variant for years, and we're talking the years of blood, sweat, tears, ideas, negotiations, all of them, all that, in order to actually make a mid-engine Corvette. Does it change the formula? Yes, it's still rear-wheel drive, but many people didn't realize how interesting it was for Chevrolet to actually do this to the Corvette in the first place. And many of the journalists was like, when are you gonna make a Corvette to an SUV? And the person that is in charge in research and development, or along those lines of the designer or basically a designer or the ones in charge of the Corvette C8. They usually say like, oh, that's totally like coming next year, but no, they're like, here's a Corvette. It's a car. It's never gonna be an SUV, and it won't ever be an SUV because that won't make any sense. It was a sports car back then, and it's a sports car now. now basically. But yeah, it's probably one of those cases where my God, my poor Corvette. And if I was wondering, yes, I actually left the fenders exposed on purpose because I actually do like the way it looks, and he raced me on like 383 leveled vehicle. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother joining that race because I got raced at night. Racing at night. Alright, that's basically the DLC race. Okay. Okay. Tyrannosaurus Rex, oh my goodness. Yes, I need Drake's on my tea. Actually, it's not that bad tasting wise. Alright, drink of the day. Unsweetened pure leaf green tea. Actually, it's pretty good. I think like a lot of people will prefer like tea with flavor, but here's the thing. The funny thing about it is that I ended up drinking unsweetened tea when I was around, I think, around middle school. Yeah, at least around middle school I ended up starting to drinking unsweetened tea. But to me it was so bitter that I didn't even bother drinking the rest of it. I actually ended up throwing it away eventually. And I was starting to drink sweet tea because like sweet tea actually tasted better than unsweetened tea. But then I figured out that if I actually wanted to drink something that's not water, I need to drink some tea. So I ended up drinking unsweetened tea, and I'm like, you know what? Once you get used to the taste, you probably won't go back to sweet tea, basically. And I don't know if it's just me, but have you ever had that moment when you actually order unsweetened tea to only figure out that you tasted there's a whole bunch of sweetness around, and it's like, oh god, this is sweet tea. Yeah, that happened to me more times than I can possibly count. Actually, in fact, now I thought about it, the C2 of the Corvette came out in the 1960s, when, you know, long story short, where basically everyone was driving around with is big old V8 powered cars, things such as Lincoln Continentals, the Chevrolet Corvette, the Chevrolet Camaro, the Chevrolet Impala, the Ford Bronco, the Chevrolet Blazer, the Dodge Dart, the Plymouth Hemi Cuda, the Plymouth Roadrunner, etc. So, yeah, around that time, the Corvette was doing pretty well for itself for what it was. In fact, it was basically everything that many people have wanted for a car like this. Um,
It's like half the racers on the street don't even remember what we've done for the city.
so yeah, up next we have the Chevrolet Camaro Z28. And this is actually the only time I ever actually although yes, I designed my own liveries as well, but this is the first time I ever actually follow how this would have worked. So yeah, actually it was interesting to say the least. Alright. It's like there's no light there. It's like, what the heck? And yes, actually have I didn't bother with the going for the facelifted look. I actually went with the pre-face look. Okay, Spectre it is. This is, so yeah, for the most part, 611. Alright, so, basically, I'm just gonna do one car. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do one race for each car, so, basically, also gonna be skipping, giving the, cutscenes for, said race, so that way it'll be actually easier for me to actually go through every single Chevrolet there. But yeah. Now in terms of the trim levels, normally when it comes to the Camaro Corvettes, they usually go on with basically it is the obviously it's the original Camaro, the Camaro, not Camaro, Camaro. Camaro RS, the Camaro SS, and then they have like a special variant of said Camaro. And was I wondering what I'm talking about? I'm actually talking about the car itself being like, oh yeah, it's basically what it is for the vehicle for the most part. Well, yeah, with the the special variant of the Chevrolet started around the 1950s with the Bel Air Impala, which actually, and they actually have a bad habit of actually turning their trim level of vehicle to their own model, and this is no different. So yeah, long story short, the Camaro actually was basically the Camaro, the Corvette are the only vehicles that are not based off of a certain trim level of vehicles. Because what was wondering what I'm talking about? There is the Chevelle Malibu, which the Malibu has on, yeah, has on model later. There's the Bel Air Impala, which the Impala has its own variant later. You got the Silverado Colorado, which I don't believe that's the name of it, but actually they have a truck called the Colorado, which became its own brand, and its own model. And I think there's also the Impala Caprice, which the Caprice ended up getting its own model as well. But yeah, basically it's interesting to say the least. So yeah, long story short, it is one of those cases where you actually end up going for the vehicles that you actually wanted to get in life. So yeah, um, I do love my Chevys. Some other than others, but still I love my Chevys. Actually, in fact, I actually do love American car culture, and but at the same time, I'm a JDM boy. I like me some Japanese cars. Um, but then for those that are like, wait, what about the Euro cars? Don't worry, I love them just as equally as my JDM cars. I like them both like children. Ay, ay, ay. Alrighty then. Up next, it is the Chevrolet Colorado Zr2. Now, this is actually, fun fact. This truck wasn't, well, yeah, basically, for those that are thinking like, oh yeah, this must be a new truck, right? It's really not. I kid you not. It's not a new truck. The reason why I say it's not a new truck is because of one thing and one thing only. This truck was full on DLC when his Speed Payback came out. And this was actually the last vehicle along with the Range Rover SVR and the basically the SVR and the um god dang dude. Now we're doing it now. It's the it was the Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio, also known as the Giulia Quadrifoglio. Wait, what am I doing? I could easily just teleport to one of the races nearby. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Fast travel. But okay, 617. I don't want to do Sonic. God dang. Okay. Jesus. Yeah, actually, it's possibly one of those cases where the more you actually get these get in touch with certain brands, actually end up sitting in one of these. Alright. my god. Colorado, Colorado, go. Colorado, Colorado, go. My god. Alright, so in terms of the Colorado, I do believe it's its own, I do believe it's not a trim level, but I do believe it's its own variant of I do believe it's its own model, because I do remember correctly, the first ever time I ever heard of the Colorado was literally around the time where the Colorado was introduced along with the GMC Canyon, if I remember correctly. And basically those two are almost exactly the same. The only difference being is the grille and its engine configurations. That's about it. Everything else, it's full on. Everything else is technically the same. But before even the Colorado actually came out, there was a very specific truck that many people did not realize that actually existed. But it's not, it actually existed now because this truck was all over Forza. Forza, the Dude in Blue reviewed one of its variants, and even Doug DeMuro actually reviewed this truck. For those who wonder what I'm talking about, well, Ever, the Typhoon, and Cyclone twins, well, they're basically, I kid you not, they're completely identical. The only difference being is that one is a truck, the other one is an SUV. But both of them are just as equally as quick as the other. In fact, at one point actually actually beat a Ferrari at a quarter mile. So yeah. If I was wondering, around that time it was the 355. So yeah, 355 Mondello, it did not do so well against a truck that only weighs only 2,700 pounds, and it's a single cab. Well then, and unfortunately has a towing power of like towing pull of 500 pounds. So I don't believe it's gonna halt that much. It's 621. So I'm only gonna do. So yeah, I'm gonna do 2 more races, and then I'm probably gonna end the live stream from here. Now, for those wondering, the reason why in terms of like the whole light thing, because this is basically a highlight color. That's why in terms of like it's showing blue, it actually is showing the car being yellow instead of nuclear green, basically. Alright, so okay then. Now, see, I need to continue on me talking about the Corvette because I haven't done that much when it comes to playing about this vehicle. So, in terms of the second generation, it was at one point where there was something special about the vehicle having. Well, there's a very rare variant of the Corvette Z2 that many of you guys had not noticed until when you look at it, it makes absolutely no sense. Well, there is a split window variant that only discontinued is because a lot of people complained that they couldn't see anything in the back because of the divider between the split windows. So yeah, there's that. My God! All right. Oh. Shoot! Land in my eye. Ah. Oh my God! Okay, there we go. My God! Alright then. Alright, lab 2. Oh, jeez. I knew it. Hold on. Sorry, I have a really bad habit of turning my vehicle on and off just so that the supercharger can actually turn on. And for those that are wondering, yes, the Colorado is the only vehicle that actually sounded like a truck and not a Raptor lookalike, basically. Although the Colorado absolutely makes no sense. Like, why in the world they made something to compete against the Raptor, but at the same time, there's the Silverado. But I mean, then again, they. Oh, sorry, 180SX. Oh my God. Sorry, Z. All right. And yes, I know it seems like cheating, but at the same time, it was basically a short race for the most part. But yeah, other than that, okay, so I'm going to. Oh, my car almost drew off to the ocean. What in the world? Okay. Okay. I see how it is. And the last vehicle. Oh crap! All right. I know I said so. So I'm going to extend it to. Actually, I was almost done with all the vehicles. I just need to do one more, and that is the Corvette Zero One. This is the newest variant of the Corvette that didn't came around until like 2019. And yes, basically it was very interesting to say the least. Um, Basically the Corvette just is basically what it is. What it is. It's a Is well, by the end of it, Chevrolet is literally just like Chevrolet's brand. It's basically a American brand that actually funded Chevrolet, not funded General Motors in the first place. Without Chevrolet, there wouldn't be In fact, the funny thing is that without Chevrolet, there wouldn't be the Corvette. There wouldn't be a what's that called? So basically, shoot. What's I say? Oh yeah, basically, without Chevrolet, there wouldn't be a Gran Torino. There wouldn't be the shoot. I forgot what vehicle it is. There wouldn't be the Mustang. There wouldn't be there wouldn't be the Fairlane. It's basically there wouldn't be the Thunderbird either. Heck, there wouldn't even be a Mustang if it wasn't for Chevrolet, just for Chevrolet's competition. But then again, it just depends on how you do things with your business. Oh my god. So yeah, basically C3, C2 came and went, and then the C3 came out. And fun fact, that's actually my dad's favorite generation of Corvette, the C3. Reason being because it's slick. Reason being because it's slicker, and at the same time, it's a lot more. It has more muscle around the parts of the body, but then the 80s came around, and actually it got more slicker than ever. But then the C4 came out around the 1980s, and it wasn't doing very well. In fact, a lot of people just preferred to buy the C3 because the C4 was very underpowered, and not to mention the Grand National. And for those who are wondering, the Grand National was a Buick Regal, but it was very souped up. And yeah, let's just say that he didn't just let's say that the Grand National didn't just beat the Corvette C4. It actually whooped the C4's butt with a leather belt that is also combined with switches, and dominates it. That's basically what the Grand National did. But that discontinued the Grand National because it looked very bad on the Corvette, which was already done because of how underpowered the car was. But many people didn't realize that the C5 was going to get better. You see, around that time, the C4 was actually being experimented with the LT5 motor, which was soon to be known as the LS, specifically the LS1. And around that time, the LS1 was known for not only reliability, but how much power it has. And last but not least, there's also the LT model engines that are in other vehicles, and especially the Corvette C7 and C8. So oh my god. But yeah, other than that, other than that, sitting in the Corvettes are pretty much here's what I actually like to do around the time when I was literally just I was just a wee lad. And we now have a thumbnail. Anyways, without any further ado, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you see next. You can follow me on Instagram at Goddrifter247sun Productions. You can follow me on Twitter at G27S. And last, certainly not least, you can check out Indoor or Discord at Goddrifter247sun Production. So right after this, next Friday it will be McLaren, and the other Friday it will be Ford, and then the last one I do believe that I'm going to combine. I'll do some combo. Probably gonna do a combo type manufacturer type live stream. So basically, just like a Honda and Mazda situation, some cars only have like 2 or 3 of them in the first place. So yeah, basically, what I'm going to do, hope you guys have a dope Saturday. This is Goddrifter signing off, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.